This is reposted.
All right, Larry, despite what every single person in my life says about you, you're a good person.
I'll take that.
Today's quote is uncredited, but I like it a lot. It says, "You're allowed to let go of who you've been if it's no longer who you are anymore." I feel like I think I've let go of who I've been in the past, but do you ever get hung up on I used to be this and I need to be that?
Andrew Keller, here is what you need to know about me. I am, and my wife is too, a middle child. We are always trapped in our middle childness because you can't get away from your family dynamic. They've put us in this box. We are the peacemakers in our family, and we can never get out of it, ever.
I feel like if you have three kids, I don't know what happens after you have more than three, but like I'm always the youngest.
Yep.
And I think do you see that manifest in your three kids? Do they exhibit behaviors of the 1, 2, 3?
Absolutely, to a T.
So how do you get out of that? Or
That's a
can you?
great question. I mean, the family dynamic's an interesting one, right? You can't really get out of those. But I think the deeper part of this quote is like, can you let go of things in your past that aren't valuable to you anymore as you try to become a different person? Like, and I think that's absolutely the case. You got to lose like just like for instance, I just think when I read this quote first, I was just thought of all the mistakes I've made, right? Just all the dumb things I've done, and I just think you have to flush those. Like that's the number one. All these bad things I've done. We all make mistakes. I just have to get rid of them. That's what I immediately thought of this quote.
The first thing I thought of when I saw this was when I was in college. I think I've talked about this before, but being from Texas, I didn't like California. I have told this story before. And the girl I ended up moving to San Francisco for, the first time I met her, I said, "California is a terrible place and I'm never going to live there." And now I don't make definitive statements like that because you never know. And it's like, let go. Just like, I think for me, it's being able to open up your mind to understand something more. And you can continue to have that belief or not, but be open to having your mind changed on what you think.
Yeah, and also too, I think like the key kind of part of that is like just don't take yourself so serious. Like
Yeah.
at the time, maybe you meant that, whatever. But now it's like, yeah, whatever. That's just letting it like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter.
I think that was definitely me taking myself very seriously. You always tell people that, "Hey, I'm just a guy from Whittier." Do you still like relate to Whittier, or is that just something you say? Because you've been in San Francisco for a long time.
I know. When I turn 50, I will actually be a San Franciscan and not a Los Angeles anymore.
Los Angelino.
I can, and I'll be able to choose the teams that I want because I'll have more time. But I definitely feel like I'm a SoCal kid. I definitely feel like I'm a product of, sort of the family dynamics of who I am. And it's taken some work to kind of, I think it was good to move because I could kind of put some of that away and not be connected to what I used to be. I think I definitely got a fresh start moving geographically.
I think being able to experience and travel, whether that's like outside of your town or outside of the country, is one of the most important things. To be able to give you perspective outside, like putting yourself
Yeah.
in an uncomfortable situation allows you to have better perspective on what is important in your life. And you just like experiencing people who are different than you.
Absolutely. One of my friends went through a pretty serious situation a few years ago where his wife died and he had 3 kids. And one of the most amazing, like literally she died and then he disappeared for a couple of days and then he resurfaced and I had a chance to be with him. And he was saying that he literally just allowed himself to be in that pain
Hmm.
so that he could sort of transition to becoming someone different. Like if he didn't kind of consciously sit in those emotions, they would have like stuck to him. But because he sort of sat at them and moved through them, he could kind of almost become the new person, that start the process of becoming that new person. I said that was like super profound, like sitting in what you were and then transitioning to become the butterfly.
I like that. I think that's next time I have grief, that's an interesting like way
Yes.
to approach it because
Yeah.
yeah, like you have to, I think this pops up or manifests a lot when you go back and hang out with old friends. Like if I see a high school friend or a college friend, like I might revert to some behaviors that I used to have that I don't have anymore. And it is a trap to hold on to who you've been, and like because it's muscle memory at some point.
And I was perusing Psychology Today after you sent this quote out, and they were saying like some people want to hang on to the bad emotions because like it's easier to keep those in your life and know or think who you were as opposed to like transitioning. People are literally just holding on to those feelings as their identity. And I was like, wow, was not expecting that today.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times people, you feel more comfortable being a victim because you get to be able to say,
Yep.
hey, this is so hard. And saying, hey, I'm successful makes you more vulnerable because people can shoot you down. But if you lead with complaining, then it feels safe and comfortable because no one's going to undercut you, saying bad things about yourself.
Man, I hate this shirt today. Oh, I was just negative. There I was. Doc.
Oh my goodness.
Duh.
If you like what Larry is wearing, please reach out. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for Michael Keaton saying thanks for stopping by.